Hello and welcome back to Season 2 of the Fresh Finds Podcast, the show about discovering new music with good people. I'm Ryan, and joining me this episode is Christian from the Salt Lake City metal band Acacia Ridge. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
I am fantastic. I am so glad that you guys got back to me, because I didn't know whether you would or not. I figured that maybe... because, we've had some back and forth on, Instagram and things like that. But, I've mostly had bands that have, smaller numbers than you guys do typically. So I was, a little bit nervous about whether you guys would get back to me or not.
Yeah, no, I mean, we love talking about new music with anyone who's willing to listen. So, yeah, it's absolutely
Hell yeah.
My pleasure to be here.
Awesome. You might not know this, but you guys are actually kind of like OGs with the show. Because I think that we featured one of your songs, Anarchist, on the second episode ever of the podcast.
Kidding. That's really cool. Sweet.
Yeah. So you guys have kind of I've known about you and you've been part of the podcast for a while, and then you guys are, very closely associated with Alpine Loop, who we've had on the show before as well. Uh-huh. We were just talking about that before the show.
Yeah, we love those guys.
So you guys just released your new single. It's called Playing the Victim. So how did you guys get inspired for the artwork on that? It's the tarot card kind of deal. How did you guys come up with that?
Well, I mean, this song was really kind of a message to a few different people in our lives that we, kind of a wake-up call in a way, and we kind of stumbled upon the idea that it, we were kind of treating it like a palm reading and saying, accountability matters, and if you're not going to be responsible for your own actions, it's not good for anyone. And I think it was our bassist Anson that had the idea of treating it like a card reading and saying here's the cards, you can believe them or not, but this is, cards are on the table. Okay. I guess
that's actually really cool. That's actually a lot more in depth than I was kind of expecting, because I was kind of thinking maybe we just thought it looked cool or whatever. But that's
we do think it looks cool.
I love when it does. It looks really fucking cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I love when people put the extra effort and the extra thought into what the meaning of the art that goes along with your art is, because I mean, at the end of the day, both are representative of each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think that's absolutely true. And it hasn't always been the case, but it definitely with the last few singles, we kind of we want the cover to have its own kind of input in how you should be thinking about the song.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Because I definitely really liked the cover of Acid a lot, or Acid in the Rain. What is that
Acid.
Song called?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that was an artist all the way back on our first album. His name was thrown into the ring of people who could potentially design that first one for us. And we didn't end up using him, and every time we did a single after that, his name would come up again, is it time to use this guy? And eventually we got around to one where we felt like the song actually fit his art style, so we were really excited about how that one turned out.
And who would that be? Let's just give him a shout out. Fuck it.
That is a great question, and we might have to give him a shout out in a second, because I don't think I remember his name off the top of my head.
Okay, that's fine. And then I guess we just talked about the new song. It's fucking awesome. I have had that song on loop a couple of times since it's come out. But are you guys, you had mentioned when we were DMing back and forth that the rest of the band is recording right now, so are we expecting new music pretty soon here?
Yeah, there's plenty of new music. And before I forget, here's our shout out. Eyes Like the Sky on Instagram, underscores in between all the words, just has a really kind of surreal art style that we loved. And I think we had him do a couple of different mock-ups for singles in the past, and then we finally got around to one where we really felt like his style was what this song needed. But yes, to answer your question, there's lots of recording going on right now. Playing the Victim is the first of album number 2 that's going to be coming out for the rest of the year and early next year too. So we're finishing up recording on that one, and I want to say they're doing bass tonight, but I don't know what they're up to right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that is super cool, because I was curious if you guys were working on a new album or if you were just prioritizing singles, because Acid had come out and then this came out, so I was I don't know if you're just doing singles now, or if you're thinking about the album. So it's cool to know that an album is coming.
It's a little bit of both. It is definitely a part of an album, but we're going to be releasing everything one track at a time. Just because streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music are much more likely to recommend a single to someone than something like an album or an EP. So they're all part of the collective, project, the album, but yeah, we're going to be releasing them one track at a time over the next, probably take us a year, looking at our release schedule.
Yeah, that's something that I've definitely noticed in the modern music industry is you're getting more and more singles off of an album. And it really is just because of, the almighty algorithm, all hail, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
They're just, they're pushing singles. They don't really push, albums as much. So I guess I'm curious, how did you guys get together? How did you form? At the very beginning.
It's a long story.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take you all the way back to the year, probably circa 2015, something like that.
The year of our Lord, 2015.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
There was a thrash band by the name of Dysfunction, which Flip Toogood, our lead guitarist, and Anson Clark, our bassist, and Brendan Gottfredson, who was our original drummer, were all members of this band. And I was good friends with one of their members, younger brother, and would play with his band all the time. So one summer, Flip goes out of town to do summer sales, and they know that one of the guitarists in the brothers band could play guitar really well. So I used to step in and play guitar for that band during the summer when he would be out of town. But I had never met Flip myself. And then it was at a wedding of a friend I think we were at, and I kept hearing, "Oh yeah, you play guitar. You ought to talk to this guy that's here. Who also plays guitar, and he's a phenomenal guitarist." And I eventually get introduced to this guy, and we start talking. Guitars we like, bands we listen to, that sort of thing. And then at the end of the night, he said, "Yeah, tell me what you're working on right now, what band you're in. I'll support you guys." And I wasn't in a band at the time, so I said, "Well, I was been playing with this band called Dysfunction." And he goes, "That's funny, my band's called Dysfunction." And we realized that we had never met before, but here we were talking to each other. So when that band eventually broke up, he was looking for new members and thought, "Hey, this guy knows all of the songs. I'm going to call him and we'll start something." Yeah. So we've kind of been in two bands together at this point, even though we never met during the first band.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so all of our original members, and then we eventually parted ways with our original drummer, and we are now playing with Steven Bigelow, who's a phenomenal musician. We're thrilled to be working with him.
Awesome. That's super cool. It is really funny that you guys were together in a band and didn't even realize it, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I was filling in for him, so I guess there's no reason for me to ever meet him.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to just hop into this then?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited to hear what you have for me.
All right, so you are already familiar with the format, so I'm just going to start with my first song. This is something that I found on, I think it was just my Discover Weekly or something on Spotify over the summer.
Okay.
It was during the hiatus of the podcast between season 1 and season 2. I had started looking for new music again because I knew that I wanted to start the podcast back up. And this was something that I found and immediately just thought, this has to go on the next season. It's so good. It's funky. It's fresh. The song is called Pull by the Summer Camp.